What's going on, guys? ChillisFM here. We finally did it. We hit Legend in Season 12 of the Go Battle League. We did an Ultra League Premier Cup, and we went on a ridiculous 18-game win streak. My longest ever. So I was really happy about it, and of course, it was with my favorite team, Gyarados, Escavalier, and Trevenant. I've used this team for seasons. It has gotten me to page 2 of the leaderboard. It has gotten me into the 3400s previously, and it just keeps being consistent. Now, I do have a version of this team for Open Ultra League that features Tapu Fini. If you want to check that out, if you prefer Open, go ahead and click right here. I will link it up there. But if you're like me and you think Ultra League Premier and Ultra League Premier Classic are two of the best metas that Niantic puts out, then stick around. I got a lot of battles. We're going to be showcasing a lot of different leads, and I'm going to leave you feeling confident that you know how to play this team. Let's go ahead and jump on into some of these battles. Go ahead and leave it a like too. I'd appreciate it. All right, into it. Dragonite lead, obviously a good lead since we will be doing super effective. They swap out into a Steelix, so we can just hard counter this Steelix with our Escavalier, resisting all the dragon type moves. Of course, Psychic Fangs also resisted. Crunch does hit for neutral, and Escavalier is very glassy, so it definitely hits hard. They get the defense drop, which is very nice for them. We're going to be able to go for the drill run here. It won't quite be lethal, but it will put them in farm down range. And at this point, they're not at another crunch. They should be one short. It's only going to be a Psychic Fangs, so we can go ahead and let it go. Now we farm down, of course, defense down 2 stages, but that's perfectly fine. They're going to be coming back in with the Dragonite, and Escav with energy is just scary, no matter what, right? I mean, this is a resistant Mega Horn. It still takes out 50% of Dragonite. It's ridiculous. I love Escavalier for that reason. And then in the back, it's going to be a Galarian Stunfisk. Now, they do still have 2 shields. This matchup's less comfortable in the 2 shield versus like the 1s and 0s. Trevenant wins it pretty easily. Still, I'm not going to play around. We're going to go straight for the Shadow Ball. Like, if they're going to no shield one, it's going to be the first one. So we just go for it, and it connects. Beautiful. So at this point, I think their only win con really is to catch a Seed Bomb at some point onto their Dragonite. Which they'll likely try to do, right? They got 2 shields, and they got that catch. They still have play here. They still have play. We're going to be throwing the next Seed Bomb on CMP. And at this point, I can go ahead and start using my shields. Of course, there's no way that this Stunfisk is ever going to Mudshots down. And there's the swap. So they actually swapped early. Not able to get the catch there. And at this point, I can just Dragon Breath down with Gyarados. I will be leaving with an Aqua Tail plus a little bit of extra energy. So I'll just dump the first Aqua Tail here immediately before they're going to have a chance to throw the Rock Slide. Still got Trevenant with a little bit of energy. I don't think I'm in Mudshot down range even after taking the Dragon Breaths. But regardless, we're just going to make it to another Aqua Tail. So pretty RPS. We just kind of kept alignment there. But, you know, I mean, to go on an 18-game win streak, you're going to have a little bit of that, right? All right, Gyarados into a Shadow Gyarados. So, of course, neutral lead. My Gyarados is the rank 1, so I'm basically never going to win CMP here. You never want to bait here, just in case they do no shield. And I'm okay with just soft losing this, because Escavalier up shields is phenomenal. And same for Trevenant. So if I can just give them shield advantage, that's my main goal with Gyarados. I rarely shield Gyarados, very rarely, unless I know that they are weak to Gyarados in the back, or if I'm of course up against like a Talonflame. So I come in with my Trevenant. I did give their Gyarados extra energy there, but anyways, their hard swap out into Snorlax, and we just go straight for the Mega Horn. People think their Snorlax can survive any one move, and yeah, we just wasted all their energy. So that always feels great. Out comes the Gyarados. There's an argument to be made that I should 2-shield here and just counter down since we do resist the Dragon Breaths. But I decided to go ahead and let the first move go. It is a crunch. At this point, I think I can Shadow Claw down. They do get to a move. I'm pretty sure it's an Aqua Tail, but at the same time, I gotta start using my shield somewhere. And the back is going to be another Galarian Stunfisk. So, like I said, Trevenant does do very well in the 1 shield here. However, they have chipped away some of my health. So 2 Rock Slides will be nearly lethal. So a little bit more tricky, especially after they showed up the first Shadow Ball. But I have a shield, so they're going to need to get to 3 Rock Slides total. Next Shadow Ball does connect. Puts them into the yellow. I'm going to go ahead and let this first Rock Slide go through, just in case, like, Earthquake would have been enough. I don't think Earthquake would have been enough. Earthquake, of course, resisted, does do slightly more damage. At this point, I can throw up a shield. They're one Mud Shot away, but in case my counts were wrong, I'm like, yeah, Seed Bomb should be plenty. So I just throw the Seed Bomb, and it's going to be enough. So, GG's. Well played to my opponent. Gyarados goes down as well. So yeah, just giving shield advantage to the back line. It's really all that I had to do there. Alright, Empoleon leads. So not the best for Gyarados. It's somewhat neutral, but of course, like, Drill Peck's just going to hit better than Crunch. Now, when you swap out, of course, there's 1 turn swap in, and it takes 14 turns to the Shadow Ball, 15 to their Drill Peck. So it will be CMP, but I think it's worth it just to throw it on alignment there. Most of the time, they're not going to have like a Snorlax or any kind of normal type in the back, so probably nothing that's going to be resisting Shadow Ball or even a Dark type, right? Because then they're going to be ABA weak to counter. So I think just throwing that on alignment is perfectly fine. We were able to see that we got the damage there, and that made me comfortable enough to go ahead and no shield the Drill Peck. Their own Gyarados comes out. Double Water, they are not afraid of electric types whatsoever. I'm going to be throwing my Crunch here. And based on how they play this, I will play it the same. Yeah, so they shield. And I know pretty common in back of Empoleons is going to be Dragon types, right? We got a Pseudo Dragon here. So I'm expecting a Dragonite. I figured I want to keep as much health on my Gyarados as possible. Actually ends up being a Toxicroak. I swap because I'm trying to hurry up and get to the Drill Run. But they were trying to catch an Aqua Tail, and we get the counter down. And at that point, it's just over. Alright, into the next one, a shiny Altaria lead. So very cool to see. Best buddied as well. Of course, good matchup for Gyarados since we will be doing super effective damage with the Dragon Breaths and neutral with the Crunch. It was a CMP tie here. This will be a Sky attack. I figure it can't be doing that much from an Altaria, right? It does put me into the yellow. So this is not as dominating as you would think it is in the ones, or in the zeros rather. I decided to come in with Trevenant because I know they're probably going to want to stay in to try to get to the Sky attack, and in the meantime, I'm just going to get a ton of energy, right? So out comes Empoleon. No big deal. We'll just go ahead and throw a Shadow Ball. They chipped away a little bit with the Dragon Breaths, but I should still be able to survive a Drill Peck. It's going to be pretty close. I know I can for sure survive this well enough to get off a Seed Bomb. Not 100% sure about the Shadow Ball, but I commit to the Shadow Ball and we get there. So this is amazing, right? So we'll see if we grab the second shield here. No, they actually decided to let it go through. At this point, I can come with a Escavalier, counter on down. If they come back in with the Altaria, okay, actually another Toxicroak in the back. Very interesting. So gonna go for the Drill Run. This would basically one-shot them. They definitely have to throw up a shield right here. They can outpace the 2, so I do have to swap and force them to throw energy on my Gyarados. They throw the Mud Bomb though, which I understand why. And then they try to catch. They throw the Mud Bomb because they thought that maybe they could counter down after, or at least with the Dragon Breaths from Altaria. They're not able to, but it doesn't really matter because the Aqua Tail was never going to be lethal to them. Their only win con though was to still get to two Mud Bombs against Escavalier, so they just didn't have much of a win con after I forced them to dump energy. Anyways, into the next one, Shadow Gyarados. So I played differently this time. I did not like that I gave them the extra farm the first time. So you're going to see I go for the Crunch. I actually win CMP, which I don't understand. I shouldn't be winning CMP. Maybe they also have the rank 1. Maybe it was a coin flip. I don't know. But we're going to go ahead and let this go, and then I'm going to be aggressively swapping out into my Trevenant. I will be able to outpace to the Seed Bomb, so I'm going to be throwing the Seed Bomb just before they make it to another Crunch. We'll see if they want to give up a shield here. And they do. Very interesting. So they are out of shields. At this point, I can go ahead and shield up the Crunch here. Even if they bait with Aqua Tail, I can outpace to the Seed Bomb. And they go for another Crunch. So I could have farmed down, but they would have made it to an Aqua Tail. I didn't want that. So I throw the Seed Bomb here. We do have a little bit of energy. We have a shield advantage. And Trev with that combination is just crazy good. Crazy good. Unless they have like a Pidgeot, which they obviously don't because they stayed in that lead matchup. So we're going to be able to Shadow Ball their own Trevenant. At this point, I recognize the team. I know it's my own team. I can come with my Escavalier. I have the shield advantage. And that's going to be GG's. Well played. Alright, Gyarados into Pidgeot. So I did not know this at the time. Gyarados wins the 1s and 2s, even if they go Feather Dance, which is pretty wild to be honest. But again, I didn't know that, and if I'm not comfortable with the lead, what I try to do is I try to get shield advantage and then just soft lose it. So if they want to Brave Bird me here, I'm going to just let it go, and they do. So they swap out immediately into Greedent, and it's Tackle Greedent. So I guess that's technically better against Escav. I let them get to the crunch, and I know I need Escav healthy to be able to take out that Pidgeot. So I go ahead and showed up the crunch. Luckily, no defense drop. I can overfarm quite a bit and go for the Mega Horn. I wanted to make sure I'm taking them out here. I don't think Jiroran would have been enough. Greedent is very bulky. And I'm hoping Pidgeot comes back in here. I'm expecting another normal type. Or maybe something like Scrafty in the back. Definitely something weak to counter, right? You don't use Greedent as a safe swap if you don't have something else weak to counter. So I'm going to go ahead and bait with the Jiroran because I just expected the shield, right? I figured they need this Pidgeot to be able to take out my Escav. So I throw up a shield here. They Feather Dance. At this point, Mega Horn's not going to be lethal. So I swap out into Trev knowing that I could outpace to the Seed Bomb. But they counter swap into a Galarian Stunfisk. And again, we've talked about this. Like, Trevenant is phenomenal in the zeros against Galarian Stunfisk. So going to be able to just go for the Shadow Ball here. This is going to be putting them into the yellow. You need them into the red or very, very close for Seed Bomb to be lethal. So I'm not going to throw before then. And really, I should just be throwing on CMP. It looks like I threw a little bit early. But we know that Pidgeot's super low. And I swapped into Trevenant because I just wanted to Seed Bomb them to take them out. So I know Seed Bomb's going to be enough. So I throw on alignment, but it doesn't really matter. It's going to be enough to take them out. And that's going to be GG's. Well played to my opponent. All right. Jumping into the next one. Shadow Dragonite lead. We're seeing a ton of dragons when I was playing these battles, which is obviously great for my Gyarados. Again, I think I can shield once and farm all the way down. I don't think I do, but I think I can. Because they're going to get to a Dragon Claw at the same time as my Aqua Tail. Well, they end up swapping out. Okay. Yeah, I'm slow on my swap here, and that's bad. Because of Stunfisk is just so bulky, and Escav is just so glassy. That Earthquake puts me into the red. And so I can throw the Jiroran. I've done only super effective damage to them. Outside of from the few Dragon Breaths that were resisted. But they're going to be able to make it to the Rock Slide here. So not great, but I know that Dragonite's pretty low. So I decided I'm going to come in with my Trevenant. Go ahead and get ahead on energy. I'm down a shield. I don't have switch advantage. It's not great, but it's basically 2v1 at this point. I can throw the Seed Bomb. Even though this is double resisted, it's going to be enough to take out the Dragonite. So they throw up a shield. I try to get aggressive and throw the Aqua Tail before they can throw. Unfortunately, it was CMP, so now I'm just kind of wasting this energy. Is what it is, though. We'll see what they have in the back. It's going to be an Escav. So this is still scary, because if they can get to a Jiroran and then a Mega Horn against my Trevenant, it's going to be over. So I was really calculating this, hoping that I could get to back-to-back Aqua Tails, and we do just that. So this is going to be putting them very low. They can't really shield this, knowing that I can get to a Shadow Ball on my Trevenant. And at this point, I can just Shadow Claw down before they get to 2 moves. So GG's. Well played. All right, this one. Up against a Ludicolo. Phenomenal streamer over on Twitch. Phenomenal battler. Very commonly on the leaderboard. And has some very cool picks for the Open Ultra League. Running Cofagrigus. So again, this is a matchup like I don't think that I can win it. So we're just okay with soft losing it. I was just going to go for the crunch and try to win the zeros there. He swaps out into a Lonely Ninetales. I immediately answer with my Escavalier, and at this point I'm like, oh no. I know exactly what this is. I've seen a Ludicolo run Cofagrigus Double Charm in the Ultra League, and that doesn't sound too great for me. Going to go ahead and no-shield the Weather Ball here. I gotta be able to take out whatever the second Charmer is somehow. And I don't have a lot of health on Gyarados. So we'll see. Gonna throw the next drill run here, and we're gonna make it to one more drill run against this Cofagrigus, which that's actually massive. So I managed my energy just right. I was able to throw the second drill run into their Alolan Ninetales just before I got to another weather ball, and then I expect the catch here. I anticipate the catch, and this turns the table for me because that Aqua Tail does a ton to a Shadow Granbull, potentially puts them in Shadow Claw down range. However, I recognize that if I Shadow Claw all the way down, I'm going to be in one Shadow Claw range from that Cofagrigus. I'm not going to get 2 moves off, so I need to throw and I need them to shield. And yes, we grab the shield. Now we got the Shadow Ball. Of course, the one Shadow Claw will be taking me out, but we get the Shadow Ball off. That's going to grab the final shield. Now, can Gyarados make it to the crunch? I'm reaching for it, and at the last second, I'm like, man, I got to settle for the Aqua Tail. I got to pray that it's enough, and it is. Just barely enough to take out the XL Cofagrigus. So well played, and GG's to Lodicolo. I still don't know how I won that. So here, this is me claiming my rewards after the second 5-0. This is actually my Pikachu Libre set, so I did keep it in. You can see non-shiny, unfortunately, not even good like CP. This is me every single season. I have never got a good CP one. I don't have any that are below 500. Like all of mine are between like 505 and 522 or something. So garbage, but that's all right. We climb up to 3127, and we're gonna keep the climbs going. Galarian Stunfisk lead. So in my historically, I haven't seen great answers for Trevenant with Galarian Stunfisk leads. This time they do have a Shadow Dragonite. By the way, this is Michael at Niantic. And we one shot, so I'm sorry, Michael. I'm sorry. Very talented battler, though, is what I was trying to get to. Makes it to the leaderboard very often. I know Michael was also struggling with getting to Legend this season. He reached it before I did. But I know was also struggling this season. So anyways, Trevenant just going off right here. Going to be able to get to another Shadow Ball. Tanks the Dragon Claw, no big deal. So at this point we have Switch Advantage, we have Shield Advantage. We're going to be able to put our Gyarados on this Como-O. We're going to be able to put our Escavalier on the Galarian Stunfisk. So that one no shield really just flipped the tides here. If I would have had Shield Advantage, like 2-to-1 shield with Escavalier, I probably still would have been able to close this out. Escavalier is not a great answer for Como-O, but up a shield, we should have been able to handle it. Anyways, there's the top left. So GG's, well played. All right, Gyarados, Walrein. So again, here's a matchup you just soft lose. You try to take shield advantage, and you can take shield advantage, but you need perfect timing when you throw. If you let a Powder Snow sneak through here, you will not get the shield or switch advantage. You win the zeros, but only if you time it perfectly. And you can see I did not time it perfectly. A Powder Snow sneaks through right there. And you're going to see, like, this is extremely close still. But that one Powder Snow, that's all it takes for this to matter. Because we're going to be able to make it to the next crunch just barely. And this time it was proper timing. We threw in the middle. But they're going to survive this. And literally one Dragon Breath. One Dragon Breath takes out there. So, yeah, I mean, you really got to focus up in this matchup. Same thing with the Alolan Muk. If you want to get the shield advantage, you have to throw it proper timing. And you need to throw it before they throw a acid spray. So, I've got other videos on this team too. Not in this cup. But if you just want to see like more leads, like I don't think I have a Trevenant lead in this. And I don't think I have a Dark Poison lead in this. Well, I'll make sure I link the other ones in the description down below, and you can find those matchups. But also, if you have like other questions about how to play this team, leave them in the comments down below. I am happy to help. I check my comments most days, almost every day. So I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Because like this team's amazing. I want my subscribers, my viewers, to be able to play this. Yeah, Trevenant is just going to dominate here in the back, double fighter. No play against Trevenant. And you see that a lot with the Walrein leads. Like Walrein is their Trevenant answer. It's GG's. Alright, Gyarados into Venusaur, not great. We definitely want to get our Escavalier aligned on this end game. So we're going to come in with my Trevenant, and they're answering with Talonflame. And if any of my viewers face me, they're going to know it's a bait. I always bait. 100% of the time I'm going to bait. Because it forces the Talonflame to throw energy, and that's all that I want. Now, they did do one additional Incinerate, so they went to 4. So they're at 1 Incinerate here. They need 3 for the Brave Bird, and they will be able to outpace just barely before I make it to the Aqua Tail. So I do have to respect it. Now, here's something I didn't know. If you Flame Charge the first time, the second Brave Bird is only 2 Incinerates. I was thinking this can only be a Flame Charge, right? Nope. Nope. So now Escav's having to 2v1 here. Luckily, we hardwall the Venusaur, and in the back it's a Shadow Gallade. And honestly, this might be the only way that Escav can sweep, because if it's a regular Gallade, they survive a draw, and I have to connect with a Mega Horn, and Gallade does win CMP, so we can't throw on alignment ever. But since it's Shadow, we're going to be able to throw the double Draw Run, and it takes them out. So at this point, we have a shield up against this Venusaur. We are at half health, but everything from Venusaur is double resisted. So I'm going to go ahead and just shield up the first one. Vincent Plant still hurts. 2 friendly plants would take out, but we can just throw the Mega Horn. I was hoping Mega Horn was enough. Maybe double Draw Run was safer, but it's enough. I mean, Mega Horn hits so hard. So GG's. Well played. Let's jump on into the next battle. Going to have Gyarados. Hey, why? Come here. Ooh. Say hi. Say hi. So obviously good lead. This is the battle I was talking about earlier. I should be able to Dragon Breath all the way down, but I was getting so close to the second Aqua Tail, I wasn't sure. So I throw it. Maybe I should have just risked it. What's up? Out comes a Ferrothorn. So we have 2 great answers for that in the back. We're going to be swapping out into Trevenant. They're coming in with a Shadow Politoed, and there's only one reason they come out with Politoed, because they have Blizzard, right? So I can kind of expect it, but they let the first Seed Bomb go through it. At that point, I'm just like, no, I'm just going to save my shield for Escavalier. We actually make it to this next Seed Bomb as well, which grabs a shield. So now we have even shields. I'm fine with letting Tree go. Expecting the Blizzard here, but they Surf. Which, by the way, Surf, I still think Surf is the right move. Now that Weather Ball got nerfed, Surf's more energy efficient. It's barely more energy. We let this go too. It's a Blizzard. No big deal. We'll come in with Gyarados, just farm down the Politoed, and then we can align our Escavalier with the Ferrothorn. I throw the Crunch just to be safe, like just in case I need it. At this point, I'd had so many wins in a row, I did not want to take any risk. So anyways, we come with the Scav, they top left. So GG's. Well played to my opponent. So yeah, I forgot to edit this one out. But here's me claiming another 5-0. I go on for 3 more wins after this. I think I've only included 1 or 2 of them. Not really sure. I also know that I left out a couple battles, because there was one, I don't remember what I led into. I think I led led into a Swampert, and then they swapped out into a A9, and I brought in my Escav, and they just top left. I was like, y'all don't really need to see that, right? But anyways, we got another one here. So Gyarados into Swampert. So again, like Swampert, amazing lead. 3, 2, 1. You see it? You saw 3, 2, 1. Gyarados hard walls this. Trevenant hard walls this. Escav is very neutral against this. So we're going to go ahead and eat the Hydro Cannon here. I try to catch the second Hydro Cannon. Unfortunately, they don't throw, but we do lure out the Walrein. So we're going to be able to throw the Seed Bomb here. Seed Bomb, of course, hits very hard into the Shadow Walrein. Non-lethal. They're not going to shield it ever. And I was thinking that we might barely survive this Icicle Spear. Unfortunately, we don't. That's perfectly fine. I'm coming with a Scav, and there's no way they're ever going to make it to an Earthquake. So I can just go ahead and punch this all the way down. This will be an Icicle Spear. I'm basically just getting energy for free, right? Icicle Spear resisted, no big deal. Out comes Talonflame. Unfortunately, my Switch Clock was not up here, so I do have to dump this Draw Run. I end up eating an Incinerate, which doesn't feel good. But we have our Gyarados loaded with energy. All we have left is this Talonflame and the Swampert. So, can Gyarados close it out? Let's find out. We grab the first shield with the Aqua Tail. Out comes the Swampert. I gotta use my shield somewhere. So I'm gonna save 1 for Talonflame, but I do shield up the first Hydro Cannon. Going for the Crunch here, hoping that I can take them out before they make it to another Hydro Cannon. But they're already there. So not quite enough. I mean, it's close. But Hydro Cannon going to be putting us into the red. Still, we Dragon Breath down. We're going to be close to the next Aqua Tail. They are throwing here. I know it's a Flame Charge, but it would be lethal. So we are going to throw up a shield. Going to throw 4 Dragon Breaths and then the Aqua Tail. And they're, I believe, 1 Incinerate away from the next Flame Charge. So they're definitely going to be able to outpace me here. So I go for the catch, and we get the catch. And it doesn't matter if they know Bubble, which I think they do. I think they know Bubble. They're still only going to get 1 Incinerate here. They need 2 more for the next Flame Charge. And in that time, we just easily make it to another Aqua Tail. So GG's, well played. I think they could have won that though if they didn't throw that first Flame Charge. If they just anticipated that catch, they just farm down and then they win. But GG's. Alright, Gyarados into another Empoleon. So we've seen we're going to swap out immediately. If they stay in, we'll see CMP tie. But they do swap out into a Nidoqueen. They were quick on their swap. A lot of Nidoqueens don't come in this quickly, and you're going to be able to get the Shadow Ball off before you get debuffed. You do want to throw your moves as quickly as possible here. And let me explain why. No matter what, a Poison Jab is going to come through. You're in clap. Poison Jab is going to come through, and you want it to be before you are Poison Fanged. So, and since I threw it there before I got Poison Fanged, we're going to survive this one. And now we're going to get the Seed Bomb off. So now we either get Shield or Switch Advantage. I'm happy with either. And they let it go. They let it go. Giving me Switch Advantage. Now I can align my Escavalier onto this Empoleon. And of course I'm going to respect the Hydro Cannons. Hydro Cannon hits very hard. We don't know what's in the back just yet. It's going to be a Swampert. So I'm going to go ahead and bake some energy. Come in with my Gyarados. Gyarados, pretty hard wall here. Shadow Swampert can fight back. Shadow Swampert just hits that hard, right? So going to be building up, going for the Aqua Tail here. We'll see if they want to give up a shield just yet. Aqua Tail won't be lethal, of course. Yeah, so puts them into the yellow. They're pretty close to Dragon Breath downrange. I think they'll make it to another Hydro Cannon though. You're going to see I have the Aqua Tail right here. I could have thrown it, but what I don't want to happen is their Empoleon come in and get a farm down, and then they make it to 2 Hydro Cannons. So going to just go ahead and counter down the Swampert, and with 2 shields, there's no reason for me to ever throw a Joran. We're just going to punch this Empoleon all the way down. That's going to be GG's. Well played. And that's going to be it for today. So thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment down below, and let me know if you have any questions about this team, or let me know if you're going to be trying it out yourself. Thank you to my channel members for your support. And until next time, this is ChillisFM reminding you to always keep pushing forward.